Friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Angel. I read a lot, I read fast, and today we're gonna be doing my February reading wrap-up. I apologize for this lighting, guys. I'm trying to figure out, but it's not the greatest, and I do apologize for that. However, we're gonna dive right in. February may be the shortest month of the year, but I did read 17 books this month. I don't know how that happened, honestly, especially considering I moved this month. I'm not sure how I pulled that off. However, we did it. I see, but this is my little reading chair in my room. It's like an IKEA lounge chase, and I just think this is so comfy. I'm just leaning on it now, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to chit chat and get into these books. So I had to make a list because honestly, half the books I read this month. I think I read 17 and I have 7 physical, and the other 10 are all digital. So let's get going. First book I read was Graveyard Shift by Emma Rio, and this is a little novella she wrote. I think it was 120 pages, something like that. I think about Emma Rio yet. I really want to read If We Were Villains, but I have not gotten to it. It was interesting. It took place over a single night, but I can't really rate it super high when it's 120 pages, but I did enjoy my time with it. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This was a 4-star for me. And so there's a bank robbery, and you get told the situation and just other life events from multiple different POVs, people who were there at the time. It was very interesting. I love Frederick Bachman's writing. He has a very specific and easy to identify tone and way of writing, if that makes sense. He can seamlessly tie in 10 plus points of views and have just make sense and be so seamless and beautiful. And he's able to explain the most mundane things in a way that sounds beautiful. This was 4. I didn't love it quite as much as Beartown, but it was very, very good. Guys, this backlight's kind of really annoying me, but I want my window open. I'm sorry. Next is the book of the month book, which is 3 Lives of Kate K. This one was very interesting. First, the 3 Lives of Kate K are her at 3 different points in her life, and she went by 3 different names, childhood, early adulthood, and kind of different events that happened in her life to lead up to those different changes. It does a lot with love in a friendship sense and romantic sense, and then also betrayal, what you do to keep somebody in your life. Kind of deals with, what would you do for people that you love, and then also what would you do to make them stay, which is kind of a scary thing. This one I did enjoy. I gave it 3.75. I listened to this one mostly on audiobook, so that was very well done. Now I'm so mad, because like I said, I moved, and I do have a copy of Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan that's personalized and signed, but it's in a box somewhere, and I'm not gonna have to go get it. I'm kind of torn between if it's a 4.75 or a 5-star. If you guys know, she did write The Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and that was a 5-star duology for me. Both books are 5 stars, and this one was a standalone, which I really enjoyed. I'm gonna go talk with Sue Lynn Tan and see her talk about this book, and honestly, just hearing more about her writing process was so nice. Having her explain her characters and the things they went through was incredible. But pretty much, it's a love story between a mortal and a immortal god. He's the god of war. Some of the reveals within this book took me so incredibly off guard, and she just, she's a master. I love this one so much. She's just so incredible, and I was so honored to get to meet her and have her sign books for me. And wait, can't find Immortal, but she signed Daughter of the Moon Goddess for me too, and Heart of the Sun Warrior. It's look, they're signed now. Their Husband's to Lean Sea by TJ Klune. This is a 4.5. This is just such a cozy little fantasy. Pretty much Linus is a caseworker. I think it's the Department of Magical Youth, and pretty much he goes to orphanages and houses that house these children and kind of make sure things running accordingly, they're being taken care of well. And one day they're super high ups bring him in, and they're hey, we need you to go somewhere for us, and it's this house out in the middle of nowhere that have 6 very dangerous children who have extraordinary abilities under the care of Arthur. He has to go make sure things running according to plan. He has to send very detailed notes about what he's seen there as he goes on, and it's just so heartwarming. And I know there's a sequel I'm really excited to read, and I do have 2 other TJ Klune books on my TBR. I have Under the Whispering Door and In the Lives of Puppets. I'm really excited to read those. I feel like I'm getting too comfy here, guys. I'm just gonna keep talking like this. Then I did a cute little romance reading vlog, and I read Done and Dusted. This is a 3.5 star for me. I will say, if you want a cute little cowboy romance, it was good. But for me, Elsie Silver is just my cowboy romance queen. So I found myself just comparing while I was reading it. It was nothing incredible, but it was a fun little good time if that's what you're looking for. I enjoyed it enough to buy what I thought was the next book on Kobo. It was on another $1.99 sale. It's when I originally got this one. It was Lost and Lasso, which I thought was the next book, but I think it's actually the 3rd book. So I'm 3rd now, not the 2nd. I'll figure that out. I think I'm not reaching for the next one, but I think whenever I want something just quick and easy, or if I'm on a vacation, summery vibes, I might pick it up then. But definitely not just one thing I have to get to. Forget Me Not. This was such a pleasant surprise. I gave this one a 4.5. This was a romance between a wedding planner and a florist who does arrangements for weddings. It's a then and now timeline where in the present we're getting her point of view, and then every time we go to the past we're getting his, and kind of seeing how their relationship started. We're trying to figure out, what they even were to each other, how it ended, and then obviously in her POV we're getting the relationship now and what's happening. That's probably the worst explanation ever. I'm really sorry, but I love this so much. I got this on Book Outlet for $9, I think, and then actually when they were doing the fiction sale, her next book, which was, I forget what it's called, but it's something about music. I think it's Not a Love Song, was only for $7.99 and I instantly bought it. I'm like, I love this woman. I really want to go back and annotate this, to be honest, because it's been a while since I felt like that strongly, but like a romance standalone too. Like I said, it's blurred by Ali Hazelwood and Abby Jimenez. That's all you need to know, the girls. Speaking of Ali Hazelwood, I read Love on the Brain and I gave that one a 3.75. Now listen, I like Ali Hazelwood. I don't love Ali Hazelwood. I'm not like obsessed like some people are. And I've only read The Love Hypothesis and that one now. I've heard her books are very formulaic. Is that how you say it? Formulaic, maybe? They follow a certain pattern. I didn't really see that because I read Love Hypothesis and this kind of just felt like the same thing in a slightly different font. However, it was a good font. I enjoyed it. Pretty much like her and like her like arch nemesis from university are working on a case for NASA to build these like helmets, I believe. It was cute. I will say my favorite part of it was like the mystery kind of things that popped out near the end. That was my favorite part. I liked that the most. Kira is my second Alison Spica book, and Alison Spica is a little indie author I found on TikTok. She makes the best videos marketing her own books, and this is the second one I've read. She has 6 out currently. I did read Kira. This is kind of like a ex-pro snowboarder romance. Pretty much this woman's life falls apart. Things go so terribly that she has to like leave and run away from her life. I'm not gonna say what it is because I think it is kind of good to go in blind and read that yourself. I forget exactly what she does, but I was like she's pretty much going to this lodge to like help them revamp their business and like bring in more business. And so she goes and her plan is to stay there while she gets this lodge back on its feet. And obviously there's a broody ex-snowboarder there who doesn't really want her there because it's his parents' lodge. I give it a 4-star, but I give her previous book I read a 5-star. So I just like work my way through her backlist. Then I read Mad Ship. This is the second book in the Live Ship Traders duology. And this was a I can't tell if it's a 4.5 or 4.75. I can't mention this because it is the second book in a trilogy and then also the 5th book in like a huge overarching world of 16 books. This was a chonker. It's 840 pages or more than that. However, it does not feel away because I enjoyed every second of this. I know a lot of people in the first book, their critique is that the characters weren't very likable. Must be wrong with me because I like them all. Like not all of them, man, but there's a lot I did enjoy. I was hoping this was gonna be a 5-star because I've not had a 5-star yet from Robin Hobb. I've had a lot of close calls, but this one, I don't think it was quite a 5. I didn't quite get there, but I'm very hopeful for this series. I do have the last book in this series and I get to go back to Fitz and the Tawny Man, so I'm excited to see where we go from here. And I read S&C by Frederick Bachman. This one has me so torn up because Bear Down was a 5-star, and I've heard that like Sarah Crowley gave every single book in this series a 5, and I really want that to be a case for me because I don't think I've ever given a trilogy, like all 3 books 5 stars. I've given a duology that, but not a trilogy. The problem with this one is that the middle of the book, like I enjoyed it heavily, but I don't think I got the same 5-star feelings like I did in Beartown. Like Beartown, I felt 5-star feelings the whole way throughout. I feel like in this one, the middle didn't quite hit that mark for me, but in the ending gave me the exact same vibes as the ending of the last book, and the ending gave me 5-star feelings. However, I don't think it's enough to like bump the whole thing up to a 5-star, and so I think I'm gonna settle on 4.75. But I do have the winners on my TBR for this month, and I really am hoping that one's a 5-star as well. And then even if it's not, I would say this series is a 5-star series. Like I would recommend this to anybody and everybody. I do also think that like if you weren't wanting a series, you could read Beartown and read that as a standalone and like feel decently fulfilled. What's gonna happen is you're gonna read that and just love the character so much you're gonna want to know what happens next, and then you're gonna pick these ones up. Friends, I have a bit of a headache. I think I haven't drank enough water today. I'm also filming this while I'm filming a 24-hour readathon, and so I think I've just been staring at a page for the past like 8 to 10 hours, so that's probably why also. I finally read Final Offer, guys. The day has finally come. Final Offer is a book I've been having to read for about 2 years now, and I just keep not doing it. So like I say, I was daunted by how large it is. Why is it that long? And I will say, I think it's probably like a 4.25. I enjoyed it more than the previous 2 books, but like, why is that long? Pretty sure this one, what Cal has to do to get his part of the inheritance is he has to like sell the one house they own. But also where it's Alana, I say Alana, but it's Alana or Elena. But she's raising her daughter there. It's like where pretty much like she lives her entire life and she's raising her daughter there. They know each other from childhood. It's kind of like a second chance romance situation, and she is a single mom. But you enjoy, because I feel like I've read a lot of single dads recently, but not a lot of single moms. So that was a lot of fun, just I think like too long. That's the main gist. Then I read City of Brass, and guys, I think it is a 5-star. City of Brass I wasn't sure about when I first dove in, like where I was gonna fall on my scale, but I do think it's a 5-star because just the more I sit here and I think about how much I'm thinking about it and how much I loved it, how much the ending got me, I think it's a 5. But in this one, our main character is like a con woman in Egypt, where pretty much like she acts like she can like tell the future and give prophecies and all these things, but really she has this like innate ability to sense illness. Like summoning this like fantastical Jinn Deva creature. I'm gonna take you to Daevabad because you are actually the last of your kind, and you're gonna be like given lots of like riches and wealth and status if you come with me. There's the Prince of Daevabad, who currently is kind of in control interimly, where like he takes over just for a short period of time, and he's kind of like agent for change, and he's just such an amazing character. I love him so much. Also, their paths cross. I am very, very intrigued to see where we go from here. Like what happened at the end of this book, where we go in the second book and the third book, but I can't keep reading those. Belladonna was a 4.25. I didn't really enjoy this one. Pretty much Signa is our main character, and death has always followed her. So like pretty much when she was little, like I think it was like 2 months old was how old she was. She had this party or event, and death came and pretty much killed everybody who was there and tried killing her as well, but he couldn't. Now death just follows her everywhere. She is gonna get a very large inheritance, which turns, I think it's 20. And so all these people are willing to be her guardians, like distant family members willing to take her in because they get a portion of this inheritance when she gets it. But what happens is every single guardian who takes her in dies. Every single one. I think I started this book, she's on like her like 17th guardian. I could make that up. I could make it, but I think it's like her 17th guardian she's on at the start of this book. And death is the love interest, so do that what you will. I read Home for Dark by Riley Sager, and I will say I did enjoy this, but also it gave me very creepy vibes because it's like a haunted house. I just moved into a new house, and I was getting creeped out, I'm not gonna lie. When she was younger, they lived in a haunted house. It's present day now, her father's passed away, and she finds out actually he never got rid of that house, and they still actually own it. She's somebody who does like interior design, she renovates houses and sells them, and so she's pretty much like, I'm gonna go rent out this house, resell it for more money, and that's what I'm gonna do. But she really also wants to find out the real truth between what happened, because years ago when they lived there, pretty much her dad said it was haunted, they fled, and he wrote a huge story about it, made so much money off the story, but she doesn't think any of it's true. And she kind of wants to go back and see if the house is actually haunted, what happened, and kind of get to the bottom of all this. Told is what happens, there's a chapter in her point of view, and then you get an excerpt from the dad's novel, and it's actually really interesting how like the back and forth. I just found it a bit creepy for the time of life that I'm in, but I gave it a 3.75. I might get some heat for this, but then I read Normal People. I read it all in audio, and I gave it a 3-star. Listen, I just don't think it was for me. I didn't really like the whole base of the story, to be honest. Like I was like, what is happening here? Pretty much you're following these two characters and their relationship over years. I think it kind of starts in high school, goes to university, college, and you kind of follow their relationship as like they kind of have this like friends with benefits thing, but they don't want to be seen together. And it's a whole thing where like they act like they're not into each other, but they are. And then it wasn't for me personally, but if it's for you, I love that for you. And very last book is Warbreaker. Now I did finish this in the depths of the night last night. I finished this in my 24-hour readathon around midnight. So I don't really think I've had too long to get to actually form a good, proper opinion on it. But I think it's a 4.5 to 4.75 star. Magicism in this world is really interesting. So there's these people called Returned, who if you are living in your life and if you're living and you die like a like heroic type death and you die, you come back as a returned, like as a god. And then also all the like the magic in this world, I think it's called like biochromatic magic, and it's based off breath and colors, which is really interesting. Yes, the biochromatic magic is a power based on an essence known as breath, which can only be collected 1 unit at a time from individual people. But it's worth it. By using breath and drawing upon the color in everyday objects, all manner of miracles and mischief can be performed. So these two sisters, and I've heard a lot of reviews and people didn't like the sisters. I like both of them. Like, as much of that's just me, people are like, oh, I really didn't like them. I enjoyed both their characters. Right now it's sitting at a minimum of 4.5. I don't think it was a 5-star. I think it's a 4.5 or 4.75. Friends, if this wrap-up was a little bit delirious, I apologize. Like I said, I'm in the middle of a 24-hour readathon, so I'm trying my darndest right now, but I am very tired, I'm not gonna lie. However, if you guys are still here watching to the very end, comment a pink heart emoji of any sort so that you're here. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm also book talking in this book corner, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.